Don't debate me. Play with my heart like this. We saw Bastion yesterday. I don't think we're going to see it here on Lighthouse, but anything is possible. Probably going to be expecting some Orisa play, though. That does seem likely.
And so looking at both sides, because they are on control, the gates will be opening in 5. We don't know what these team comps are going to be until they leave those gates. Let's see if we're going to be seeing this Hanzo, and we will. Both teams are going to stick with those team comps. Stand one with Orisa, and that halt's going to make that well very, very deep for a lot of people.
Oh no, this is one of the OG Boop cities here. Halt! There we have one being fired off by Cloman, not going to pick anybody up, but XL2 Academy rotating around here. They're going to be looking to set up their two DPS players, Mangachu and Logix, actually both on that long distance damage heroes with that Hanzo and McCree. So they've actually, basically switched spots at this point. The great rotation here of 2018.
Well, and XL2 is going to take up shop on this point and actually take it before any casualties are shown. But now NRG is going to have to decide what to do. Are you going to reset, try to get some more poke damage and get those ultimates, or is XL2 going to take more time off of the clock by NRG? And they're looking like NRG is going to go ahead and engage, and Stand One's going to get the first kill and first blood of this match so far, but he is taken below half health right now. But with the kill onto Logix, that long distance damage is unavailable to them, with Byram on that Zenyatta being the best. And now look at this, the point has flipped for NRG.
Point has flipped, and NRG are looking comfortable to take it. This was a gamble. As Zyre coming out with his Brigitte, you're not going to be really helping out with that long distance damage. You're not going to be throwing out storm arrows to help shatter the enemy Orisa's shield, but you provide so much of that stability defensively. Now as XL2 have to re-engage on this point, NRG can pick where they want to stage up, and a Zyre's shield bash could be deadly.
Cloman is asserting his dominance, trying to get onto the point. The grenade gets a couple people there. Mangachu is going to take advantage of that and get a double kill on the point. XL2 has an opening here, but with that boop onto Goliath, that no Zenyatta healing is going to be pretty hard. Both of them at 0% on their ultimates as well. XL2 has not taken this point just yet. Rally coming down for NRG Esports. Let's see if that's going to be enough damage mitigation. It's not going to be for Smek, but they still haven't gotten the point.
Yeah, there's still one frustrating body left here, stalling things out. And XL2 Academy, this is not going to be a situation that they're going to win easily or potentially at all. Interesting investment of the sound barrier, and we have Mangachu throwing out the dueling dragons just to open up a little bit of space. But XL2 now trying to clear the wave with a high noon. Oh, catches the Brigitte.
Yeah, the Deadeye coming from NRG didn't get anything themselves, so that's still a numbers advantage for XL2. They could have taken this point a little earlier, but the self-destruct's going to try to make it a little bit faster. It does not, and Byram is going to go down again, and finally they're making progress on that clock. But no, they still haven't taken the point from NRG, even though they've been ahead on this fight for a very long time.
XL2 Academy cleaning up those kills. Now finally this is going to convert into that point recapture, but it was looking dangerous. I mean, NRG are at that one and done fight territory. They only need to win one more clean team fight. You can probably get about 20% off the back of that. And XL2 Academy, they have to be playing this very carefully. We're going to be looking for Cloman to drop that battle bongo, that supercharger in the next fight. Just make XL2 Academy that much more spiky, more dangerous for NRG to engage upon, who have now swapped onto that Dive Goats composition.
The supercharger is out, that nice little bongo, and that's going to help Stand One delete his HP pool. Cloman getting that kill, and this is going to force NRG to reset. They've got a little bit of time. They don't need to rush this.
Yeah, no, this is not a place where you're going to be throwing any ultimates that you get right into the middle of a disadvantageous fight here. NRG, they're close to that Transcendence, but otherwise fairly far away from some of those game-winning ultimates that you would like to look for, like the Diva Bomb, the Graviton Surge. XL2 Academy, they're actually pretty comfortable right now. They have tons of zoning ults. Just buy time off the clock so they can start eclipsing NRG Esports. That high noon gonna come in, and Mangachu's Dragon Strike again. NRG, there's a lot of slow, beefy bodies that those dragons will be looking to chew through.
Yeah, we're looking at the end game for well right now as both teams approach 80%. And so this is one and done fight for both teams. Who's gonna win potentially this last fight? Mangachu does have that Dragon Strike, so he's gonna be able to separate the team if he gets a good one off. And here we go, the Dragon Strike is there and gets eaten by the Diva, so that is going to be unavailable to XL2, but it doesn't seem to matter as the high noon comes out behind that and gets Byram on that kill. So Byram's gone down first, and a lot of these fights, let's see if NRG is going to be able to stall just like last time. Self-destruct coming from XL2, not going to get much, but they are going to get that throughput damage. They are going to clean up this point. They just have to get everyone from NRG back to spawn.
And that seems like an inevitability at this point. Boof, overtime wave burning down, and it should be XL2 Academy racking up their first round win here on Oasis. Or excuse me, Ilios. Just one Zenyatta trying his best. Unfortunately, sometimes enlightenment not quite enough. to keep you from respawn.
But still, in the end of that, XL2 had a hard time closing that out. Yes, the Transcendence was there, but that Focus Fire could have been a little bit better.
Yeah, Focus Fire definitely one issue here, but I think XL2 Academy just had the better comp as we check out Logix largely firing from the safety of the confines of these walls or behind his Orisa's shield. I mean, anytime you're running two long distance damage heroes like a Hanzo or a McCree, you can set up those crossfires, right, and make both of them even more deadly. And the fact that, you know, NRG, they're just not going to be able to focus on both threats at the same time. You gotta pick one of those battles, and you're going to be opening up the back of your team to the other DPS. So now as we move into our second sub map, NRG swapping things up. I really like this look of Kevster on the Sombra here. You know, the tanks, of course, you know, rely very heavily on those abilities. So you take one of those away, particularly that Diva Matrix, you have no ability to eat any of the incoming projectiles. That can be a huge boon. But it does look like Kevster just using that stealth to scout things out, going to swap back onto the Zarya.
Well, and again, that information is so important worth that amount of time, so now they know exactly what they are walking into, and we are seeing goats on each side. That is that triple tank, triple support, but XL2 is going to be on that Reinhardt, NRG is going to be on that Winston. The shield dashes are gone from both sides, and XL2 has taken up more space on the point. They've actually taken it with a really great boot kill from Huyal.
Yeah, Huyal isolating Smex right there, giving him that hard eye contact, and a staggered kill onto Stand as well. XL2 Academy playing this really well. They know that they can rely on that positioning. Clone Man on the Reinhardt does confer a lot of advantage with that big, beefy shield. You just stand behind it, you know you're going to be protected. So XL2 Academy really playing like a pack of wolves right there. They were sniffing, looking for who was low HP, corralled Smex away from the rest of the team, got that early kill, and that's all they needed.
Everyone doing their job. They didn't know that Huyal was behind them. Byron going down first again in this fight, so he's been having a hard time getting to those Transcendences because he's been dead for a lot of these fights. Not a lot of healing going from him. Huyal below half health, but you see those plus signs. The healing is there. The DMAC, though, is going to come out of NRG. No, Smex is going to survive that, but he is low. Kevster will be the next one down for NRG Esports, and XL2 functioning almost like a hive mind right now.
I would certainly say that's true, Boop. XL2, excellent positioning right here. Huyal not only able to use that advantage to scout out where NRG are engaging, but you saw, you know, Diva's not known as a high damage hero, but sometimes those micro missiles are all you need in conjunction with a great fire strike from your Reinhardt. So NRG, they got to keep that back line alive. Byram now has that Transcendence. He's going to be looking to use it. He doesn't want to die too soon.
Well, NRG is going to try to force XL2 back to the point. Someone was trying to cap. XL2 does have a huge ultimate advantage. They actually haven't had to use any of them just yet. They're still up 6v5. The Primal Rage coming from Stan. He's going to try to survive the Graviton Surge, and he does, but will he survive the rest of the fight? The healing is going to be there. He's actually going to get the kill onto Logic, so no Zarya available for XL2. There wasn't a Graviton Surge. Self-destruct is there. Is it gonna be a big one? No, it will not. Smex will get one kill, though. Is this going to be enough for NRG to take this point? They do have a numbers advantage right now, but they have to, just like XL2 had a hard time doing this to NRG, they do have to clean up this point.
Gotta clean it up. It is a small objective, though. Clone Man goes down, one of the last bastions of the XL2 defense, but at 99%, if you're gonna give up the point at any time, you know, now's a good time.
Yeah, XL2 used all of their ultimates and were unable to maintain on that point. They are at 99%, so they will have an opportunity to get those ultimates again.
That was a pretty heavy investment from XL2. They thought probably they could just force it over the edge, but NRG hanging it on now close to 20%, but very far away from any of those supportive ultimates that can be such fight deciders.
Smex getting teamed that early is bad news for NRG Esports. Transcendence for XL2. They're going to have the armor and the heals for the rest of this fight. They were able to take the point in the end, and XL2 will take Ilios 2-0 and go up 1-0 on that match score.
And that's going to be a feels good. Again, this is expected to be a pretty competitive matchup. I remember there was a Twitter poll going on before today's game started. I do believe a lot of people were throwing their weight behind XL2 taking this, and, you know, first map win down under your belt. So that's going to be a field. I just like the fact that Clone Man escorted everybody off with a great charge. Straight off the point.
Well, XL2 looked really, really good throughout all of Ilios. You know, they were taken advantage of, but one thing NRG didn't do was they didn't put their great moments together. They had them sporadically throughout the map, but they needed to be a little bit more consistent.
Yeah, consistency is going to be the name of the game from now into the foreseeable future, as long as you're playing that GOAT's composition, right? So it's going to be staying disciplined, right? Be playing consistently and landing some of those, you know, shots that maybe aren't so easy to always pull off. Mangachu here, ooh, crispy headshot, and look at that, oh, jump great reaction right there. Save himself from the depths of the well.
Yeah, pressing spacebar at the right time is a big part of the Overwatch game. But, you know, in the end, NRG did show some signs of life. They got to the point, they made things close. That first round was at 79% for them. What do they need to do to make it a little bit more consistent?
That's a good question. It's really hard to say right now, Boop. You do remember that they had a very, very easy series last week. So we're still kind of trying to see what this team can put together for this current season. I would say as far as that well game went, I think NRG really hampered themselves by going with the Brigitte. They may have been expecting, who knows, maybe a Sombra coming through, and that Brigitte is going to be really good for warding her away, peeling for her backline with that shield bash. Go away, Sombra, right? But unfortunately, you know, they got one-upped by XL2 pulling out 2 DPS heroes, so Hanzo and McCree. It's so easy for those 2 heroes to hold a Brigitte at bay, really nullify all of her utility. If she's not doing damage, you have to remember she's not really contributing any healing to her team, you know, kind of just sitting there as a beautiful desk ornamentation.
Well, they also switched characters kind of halfway through the round on well, and that depleted their ultimate economy, and they were unable to get there by the end of the round, and that could be another reason why they weren't able to take well in the end. But hey, here we are. We're at 1-0-4 XL2 against NRG right now. We're going to see our second map here in just a second. But XL2, like we said, the hive mind. Can you go into a little bit more detail about what we mean by the hive mind?
So the hive mind is, I think we first started talking about it all the way back in season 1 of South American Contenders. But it's this idea that, you know, you've played together with this team for so long, you're going to know, you know, approximately what position your teammates are going to be in, so you don't have to worry at your I would say like kind of that undercurrent of all the things that you're keeping track of while you're playing, ultimate counting, right? Ability counting, who's used self bubble, who's used their cooldowns. It becomes a little bit more second nature when you've been ingrained, you've been playing with this team for so long, and it doesn't have to be at the forefront of your mind as much, so you're able to focus kind of more on the immediacy of what's right in front of you and what the enemy team is bringing, because as we saw, spacebar, man, I couldn't react that quickly, so that's very impressive.
Well, hey, you know what we know right now is that we're going to be seeing Hollywood for our hybrid map. And once again, the match score is XL2 up 1-0. They took Ilios 2-0. And let's look at this defense. They're preparing, and look at Mangachu on that Hammond. You know, we might be debated right now, but hey, there's a lot of environment for him to work with.
Tons of environment. Hammond is a hero that really thrives anytime you have some of those high vertical walls. You get that grappling hook up, he comes smashing back down. That's all of his utility really is in that, getting those big pile drivers, mad disruption and damage at the same time. But it doesn't look like XL2 are going to be running that rodent defense. It is back to the GOATS composition for the defenders here, and NRG looking like they may be pulling out with something slightly different, but hello, I'm not Hanzo. It's going to be Lucio, so just throwing out that Sonic Arrow to see if they catch any kind of cheeky close defense, but XL2 Academy looking to take the fight on the objective.
Cloman's used 2 fire strikes, and he's at 33% on his ult charge. That's a really great lead onto NRG, unless he's going to get Sandwon's going to get fire strikes of his own. Logix has used that personal particle barrier, so he's going to be left a little defenseless. He's got to save the ally barrier for Cloman for the right time. That's going to be fourth the shield that. He's going to use it right now, and that's why you see Cloman getting a little bit more aggressive and pushing NRG back a little bit further, but now NRG's going to have an opening to get back on it to the point the shield dash was there, and that's why Cloman is down right now. So this is a 6v5 for NRG right now on point A of Hollywood. They have an opening, they got to clean it up, and that's exactly what they're doing with Smex getting the kill onto Mangachu, so that Inspire healing will not be there. That's 2 of the 3 supports for XL2 Academy, and it looks like they're backing up. They're going to give NRG this point.
NRG coming back strong. They gave up that early loss on Ilios, but they took point A of Hollywood in their very first attack. They're going to have tons of buffer room to try and get something done on Streets phase. Curious if XL2 Academy will throw out that Earth Shatter and then maybe swap to a Winston or somebody who can really, you know, exploit that high ground here on Streets. But as of right now, it's going to be once again back to that hammer battle.
Hey, but this is exactly where you can and spawn camp, so they're going to be investing a lot into this fight. XL2 as the Transcendence is going to start. The Earth Shatter is there. It's not going to get anybody, but no particle barriers for NRG means there's going to be an opening for their tank. This Shatter is a little bit better, getting 4 onto the ground. NRG Esports looking like they're on fire right now.
Yeah, those comms must be crisp, clean between the Brigitte and Reinhardt of NRG. Yeah, you think that's an Earth Shatter? I'll show you an Earth Shatter. So all of those abilities landing at those exact moments. That's so clutch. And now NRG NRG, they're going to be able to continue to roll through Streets phase, hopefully with the 4 ultimates that they still have in their hands. Biggest, of course, will be those 2 support ultimates. Really liked what Goliath was going for. You know, pop the Transcendence, try to encourage XL2 Academy to go for it aggressively. Unfortunately, sometimes those ultimates just don't land.
Well, there is a self-destruct on the other side, and that can stop everything if it's really well placed and coordinated with that Graviton Surge. The self-destruct in there, Graviton Surge from XL2 will be the first one to come out. Self-destruct for XL2, neither of them get anything. Sound Barrier, they're going to keep NRG Esports alive. They had to invest 3 of the 4 ultimates into this fight, but they might be able to take Streets phase because of it.
Yeah, and that is a well worthwhile investment. It's like buying stock in, you know, Berkshire Hathaway. You know, it's definitely worth your money right here, as NRG still have investment jokes, still have that rally and the Earthshatter coming in. XL2, it almost felt like maybe they recognized that this wasn't the fight that they wanted to take, but seeing NRG's heavy investments, they felt like they needed to call. And unfortunately, that meant a sound barrier thrown into a lost fight. But XL2 will still, of course, have that Transcendence on hand as they look to hold up pretty close, pretty aggressively here.
Yeah, Byron was in front of the whole team a little earlier. Stan looking for that Earthshatter. He had a big one last time. Oh, but the shield bash is there, so XL2 can have the big shatter. This time, 4 people on the ground for Clone Man, and that's why you're seeing Stan 1 go down. With it 6v5, it's going to push NRG back to their base. Good ultimate finally from Clone Man on this round.
Yes, NRG denied him, but he will no longer be so tamped down. Lands a big Earthshatter, and as you said, Boop, sometimes you only need that 1 kill, as this Goat's Death Ball really needs all 6 members alive to be functioning at maximum efficiency. But of course, Stan 1 now ready with the hammer, tries to lay it down, only met with a giant shield.
Really good shield bash onto Stan, making him move back. The Harmony Orb is on him, so he's able to maintain his offensive approach so far. The pin or actual tactical reposition on that one. He gets shield dash at the end, and somehow he's still alive. They haven't been able to get that damage in there. The Graviton Surge coming from XL2 is going to make them all come together in that unwilling hug. The damage is there, and the victory is there as well.
Yeah, XL2 putting a stop to the payload right after those warehouse doors. And NRG, they are all on fire here, but XL2 looking pretty comfortable with their hold. They're going to now have the sound barrier online, and really, Boop, these days, Goats is just a chess game of ultimates. Every single move that you make is a calculated risk. If we push in aggressively with this defensive ultimate and we're not able to confirm kills, we've basically sealed our doom. But if we can just use that 1 ultimate and catch the enemy team off tempo, that might well be worth it.
Graviton Surge coming out from NRG, so is the self-destruct. The bigger bang combo, not going to get anything on that one. The sound barrier is up for XL2. Earthshatter, though, getting 3 onto the ground. NRG Esports has an opening to finish this map, Ham.
Oh, NRG looking strong with still over 3 minutes left to push this payload into 3rd, and I loved that Kevster starting things off with that Graviton Surge as your left jab, and then Stan 1 coming in from downtown with the Earthshatter. It's like that classic jab hook technique here, but now Logic's trying to be the difference maker, throwing the grab in from behind.
And it gets every single person. Are they going to be able to get the kills? No, because the support ultimates were there. The Earthshatter not going to get much either, but Izire taken very, very low. The rally comes just in time, but not in time actually for Izire, as he's going to have to waste that ultimate. Actually, the rally coming from XL2 on Mangachu, so that one's a little bit better. Izire still at 50%, and XL2 has pushed energy back, but they do have a lot of time in that time bank.
Yeah, once again, this is 3 fights at least for NRG to try and re-engage here, and the win condition is clear. They can see where the payload needs to rest in order to finish out this map, so with that knowledge, you can basically bank up your ults for an all-or-nothing 6 ultimate extravaganza showdown here as they try and draw some ultimates out from XL2.
Yeah, Energy is going to have 2 of their own, potentially that Sound Barrier and that Transcendence, so the healing has to be there for that to happen. Oh, the Earthshatter is going to get Mangachu. Are they going to protect the body? It looks like, yes, he is going to survive, but not for long, as this self-destruct is going to get a double kill, bailing XL2 out of a possible sticky situation.
Yeah, that was looking rough for XL2 up until that giant exploding mech landed straight on the heads of poor Stan 1. Unfortunately, not quite sure where he was looking to shield. There was so much going on in that last fight. NRG, though, they have 4 ultimates to their name. We've seen giant, bigger bang combos come through before with that grab and Diva Bomb. And Smex, we know that he is a very capable Diva in terms of that timing and bomb positioning. So this may be the ticket forward for NRG to finally finish out Hollywood.
It might be the only ticket they have left, as they have this ultimate advantage they might not have in about a minute. The Earthshatter, though, going to try to stop them in their tracks. No one down so far. Really good particle barrier on Kemster, on himself. That personal barrier, the self-destruct out for NRG could get someone. Yes, it doesn't get anybody. Cloneman is going to get the first kill, 6v5, but the sound barrier coming out from NRG Esports is going to try to push this payload to the end. They have invested every single ultimate that they have gotten, but they haven't gotten any kills so far. And now we have the first casualty, which is Huyal's mech. But now XL2 is coming back. Juror has a sound barrier to protect his team for this next fight now.
Oh, and Smex though, oh, mercifully, wow, Jur actually puts Smex, that baby diva, out of his misery as NRG still have a chance for one last point touch. That was actually extremely generous from XL2. Usually want to stagger that baby diva up until the very last second, but regardless, NRG are running on fumes. They have nothing in terms of ultimates, and they'll be coming up against Clone Man's Earth Shatter and a sound barrier to boot.
And potentially a self-destruct as well. NRG might have a Graviton Surge if she keeps kicking those right clicks, those particle grenades, but now the fight is just happening on the payload. XL2 being very patient. They're going to let NRG try to start this one off. The Graviton Surge is there. Sound barrier is to counter that, and no one will be going down because of that self-destruct from Huyal. Looks like it might get someone. No, it doesn't. The particle barrier is there. The Earth Shatter not going to get much for XL2 this time around. Sand1 very close to his. Transcendence now for XL2 Academy. This is an even fight so far, but not anymore. It's a 65 on the payload for XL2. Self-destruct has to be big, and it is not. So 6v3, the numbers are dwindling for NRG Esports.
Yeah, NRG looks like this is where the payload will stop for them. Round one complete, and XL2 Academy have set them up with a clear win condition.
And so they had a ton of time coming into this third point, but they were unable to put it together. They walked through street space. They took A very, very quickly. In the end, what did XL2 do to make sure they did not grab that third point?
Just really good value from each of their ultimates. You know, anytime you do see that win condition, it's so incredibly close, it can, you know, cause a little bit of, you know, that frustration. You're playing maybe not quite as disciplined as you might expect usually, as it did seem like NRG, they were starting to build up those ultimates in that very last fight, but you know, just throwing them, seeing which ones would stick at the wall. You know, sometimes though, Boop, it is just that unluck. It's a massive shatter combo, and it's like your one ticket, right? And shields just get in the way, man.
Yeah, Goats is all about being stronger together, and I don't know if you guys noticed that in that last replay, but there were a lot of people who got separated out of that ball, and when they're alone, they're just not as strong.
Certainly a lone sheep away from the rest of the flock. Very deadly. There are wolves on the prowl, so I hear. But
and coyotes.
And coyotes, cougars,
Bears.
bobcats.
Yeah.
There's a lot of dangerous kids out there, so stay inside, play video games.
That's really, really good advice, and one that every mother should tell their child and father. But now that we're going to come back to Hollywood, NRG unable to finish that map. XL2, though, I think is a sign of a really good team with good practice to be able to be patient about that ending. They let NRG take that, engage, and XL2 knew what to do with it.
Yeah, exactly. The no panic ulting, I think, is one of the biggest markers of a veteran team. The team that throws out their support ults second is usually the one that will come out on top, as you have that extra little bit of cushion when the enemy team has already given their all here. Wow, Byram, eating the wrong end of a Zarya nade there, taken so low. NRG forced back a little bit, giving up quite a bit of space on the objective, but now with that speed boost, trying to surge forward here, but no, Stand is down.
Oh, he was being very, very aggressive, trying to get all the way up to that Earthshatter, got halfway there, but it was a little too aggressive, and XL2 knew what was happening. They took him down. NRG smartly giving up this point.
Yeah, NRG, it looks like they're going to try and stagger things out here, but the Brigida gone as well. It is just going to be a long, drawn-out battle at this point. NRG's goal is just going to be to try to shave a couple of seconds off of the clock, but of course you have to balance that with the fact that you're going to be feeding ultimate charge to XL2 Academy, who are so close to their first Transcendence within the first fight, and of course the Earth Shatter from Clone Man. As Stand1, you know, sometimes you just try to do, it's almost like, you know, you see these main tanks trying to do too much for their teams. Oh, just one more hammer swing, man, it's so incredibly low, but what that can mean is you yourself caught out with a shield bash, taken down so early on, 50% up to his Earth Shatter in the first fight, but there's no participation trophies here.
Sometimes if you make contact, that doesn't mean you should. When you're on that Reinhardt, the Transcendence is coming out now from both teams, so no one's going to die here until these Transcendence wear out. The Earth Shatter now coming from XL2 Academy gets 5, and they know what to do when everyone's on the ground. there, they're going to kill him.
W mouse 1 is what I hear, you know, talking to all the pros.
It's a standard strategy.
Standard, traditional Overwatch, which is a school that XL2 Academy clearly subscribes to. That was, again, like we talked about, Boop, really good value. One single Earth Shatter gets you so much space on Streets phase, and now we can see Goliath and Wuyao, his bodyguard, staging on the high ground. This is a really safe place for your Zenyatta to stay. There's no way that NRG can really touch him, and he can still be active in the fight.
Oh, the Graviton Surge is going to be all XL2 it needs, and we're going to see the end of Streets phase because of it.
Yep, and easy as that. The bell signals the team kill and a likely point B cap as well.
Exactly, and so now that we're going into Streets phase, this is exactly where NRG got stopped, and now we're going to look at the ultimates. You do that before every single fight. NRG has the advantage here with a potential 5 going into this next engage.
Yeah, but it is not just a question of quantity, but quality as well, Boop. NRG, they have to be landing these key ultimates. Stan has been holding on to this Earth Shadow. He really wants to show Clone Man who the Alpha Reinhardt is here, but he's going to have to look for a little bit of setup at the courtesy of his Brigida.
Yeah, the bad news for NRG is XL2 will have both support ultimates available for this fight. The Earth Shatter is there, gets a couple of them. The Sound Barrier is going to try to counter that Earth Shatter coming from NRG. The pin, though, is going to get Desire, and the Earth Shatter coming from Stand 1 is not going to be as big as the one from XL2. However, the kills have been traded. It's a 5v5 here. Transcendence now for the Graviton Surge. That is some good communication, and another pin kill now coming from Stand 1 onto Mangachu. So that AoE healing's not there. Now you see it. They're pushing him back, but with that kill onto Kevster, XL2 has another opening for this fight. They're going to take it.
Oh, and speaking of getting the mat yanked out from under you, Kevster overstaying his welcome just a little bit, and it goes back to tempo. XL2 Academy, NRG was expecting them to go for that full reset back up to their spawns, but XL2 read that book perfectly, re-engaged off tempo, caught NRG unawares, and their Zarya went down immediately. And now not only are the attackers going to have that Graviton Surge advantage, but NRG, they don't even have all 6 members yet. They're just now re-engaging on the payload.
Logix does have that Graviton Surge to try to help XL2 reach the end of the green box of victory. Earth Shatter isn't going to get much. Goliath is a little bit too far back into the back line to take advantage of that Earth Shatter hit, but now Stand 1 is going to be taken below half. The Reinhardts are attacking each other. That aggressive eye contact is definitely there, but as of right now, nothing is happening. Mangachu does miss that shield bash, so it's going to be 7 more seconds before he's going to be able to engage again, but how is he going to engage? He's going to try to help Logix get through that Graviton Surge that he still has, and he's going to go ahead and use it, and I believe it was eaten, and so, but he is going to have that 100 energy now, so he's going to be a DPS and rip through that Reinhardt shield, but Cloman's going to get shield dash and takes very low. The Transcendence is not going to come in enough time. The healing wasn't there, so he's going to go down. There's been a lot of investment in this fight so far, Ham.
Yeah, a lot of investment of ultimates as well as just time. NRG, you know, finally finding themselves able to hold on with this defense. It was a crucial moment. XL2, of course, they still have, you know, nearly 3.5 minutes, but it was time for NRG to put their foot down with those footsie battles. As far as ultimates go, it's really that risk reward. You saw it, the poke battle, just that hard eye contact, trying to bait the other team into using their cooldowns first was such a huge deal now, and it's actually gone on so long that Stand will now have that Earth Shatter as they rotate around the payload, actually swapping places.
Yeah, XL2 is functioning as that defensive side, which is actually a pretty good position. That might force energy to come to them. The Earth Shatter not going to get much, but Mangachu will go down because of Smack, so this is 6v5 for NRG Esports. The Sound Barrier is going to keep everyone pretty healthy. Stand was low, but they haven't been able to confirm that kill just yet, and they are going to confirm the reset. XL2 is going to have 2 minutes and 40 seconds to try to get to that green box.
And still plenty of time once again, and they are working up that ultimate economy. NRG, though, really good play. You saw Azire was able to herd Logix away from the rest of XL2, and with the help of Kevster, together the two of them secured that kill. That's what you want to be looking for here, is those man advantages. You never want to really be in head-to-head duels constantly. You want to be trying to use that positional advantage, that man advantage, as having a teammate at your back to help you clean up these kills quickly.
The Graviton Surge now from Logix does get every single person. Self-destruct not going to get anything, but they are going to get the first kill, so this is an opening for XL2. They've used every single ultimate so far. Self-destruct now from NRG not going to get much either, just the D-Mac. Earth Shatter's now everywhere, but Stand 1's going to be the first Reinhardt to fall, so the rest of NRG's got to be scared for this, but no! There are going to be a couple kills because the focus wasn't there for the peel.
Oh, Byron's still alive, trying his absolute best, but against a Reinhardt hammer, the poor Omnic going to be crushed into scrap metal here. And XL2 Academy, there's a desperation Hammond to take care of, but Stan not going to be standing for much longer as XL2 win Hollywood and go up 2-0 against NRG.
So while that was much closer than Ilios, NRG showing up for a lot of that, but again, just like on Well earlier, they weren't able to seal the deal.
Yeah, that finish line is so hard to push through, Boop, so many times. You feel like you see an engagement, an opening, and you try and take it, and that's, a common feeling that we all have here. But unfortunately, when you get to this level of play, communication really comes in, and, sometimes the playing field deceives you, as you can really, only see what's right in front of you, especially as a Reinhardt. You saw that, You saw that they were trying to make something happen with that Earth Shatter on the very last defense, but it didn't quite come through. The defense was already down, 2 or 3 members. You have one Reinhardt still just trying to make a desperation play, and you never quite know. Maybe if he had waited just a few more seconds, got another body on the point, there may have been a better opportunity. But of course, we here as casters from the safety of our cave, judging all these players, sometimes you can't really know what that opportunity will turn out to be, but I think something that you just have to remember is you don't always have to play the objective all the time. There may be a little bit more wiggle room than you expect.
Exactly. One thing about XL2 that was for sure is when it mattered, they really tightened up and played much cleaner.
That's certainly true, Boop. I think we saw the discipline coming through from XL2. NRG struggling a little bit to hold things together on Hollywood.
And so we have XL2 up 2-0. We're going to see how they got here. NRG, they had some good shatters. They had some good bigger bang combos, but again, it hasn't been as consistent. One thing that we are going to be looking at, just like in every other GOATS comp, is that Reinhardt battle. How do you think it's going so far?
I'm gonna say Clone Man is probably like a 10 for 15 out of the, coming out on top in most of those battles. And of course, it's not just a Reinhardt's job. You're also going to be working with the rest of your team. Those Zarya bubbles, keeping your Reinhardts safe. The shield bashes to open up opportunities for your Rein to get big shatters. Those are all key interactions here as we check out Clone Man once again, this time on the defense, I believe.
Yeah, one thing I did like from NRG was how aggressive Stand 1 could be. It's just knowing when to turn that off. He was just a little bit too late, just receding back into his team.
And this was the unfortunate stuffed Earth Shatter that we watched. Stan 1 trying to make things happen for his team there. Didn't quite work out even with the defensive respawns. So hopefully NRG going to be able to look for, not just any opening that presents itself to them, but the best openings, right? It's always okay to, just give a little bit more time if it'll secure you the long-term goal of just winning that team fight.
All right, let's see if NRG is going to win more team fights when we come back after the break. Once again, we have XL2 up 2-0 against NRG Esports. We'll see you in a couple minutes.